Well, folks, it looks like I and many other people were wrong about a teaser for Jurassic World Evolution 2 coming this week. It really did seem likely based on Frontier's past behaviour, but as Yuti mentioned in my comments section, it's almost like we figure out Frontier's schedule, we figure out what they tend to do, and then they change the plans anyway, so it doesn't do as much good. I would be very surprised if we didn't hear anything next week. We know the DLC is close, we know it's in development, we know it's getting prepped to go out to people, all this kind of jazz, and yet, we still have no teaser, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next week, but definitely come back next week for hopefully some DLC news. We know it's happening in this financial year, and that ends on the 1st of April, so there's no, it has to come in March, there's no arguments either way. Anyways, that's not what I'm here to talk about today. This just popped up a minute ago, and I just thought this was really interestingly worded. So, the official Jurassic World Evolution 2 Twitter account just posted this. Calling all Jurassic World Evolution players, we want to hear from you. Give us your feedback and help shape the future of Jurassic World Evolution. Help shape the future of Jurassic World Evolution. Now look, this is marketing speak. They're doing a survey. I don't want to say that this means too much. Frankly, I didn't have any content planned for today, so we're just going to talk about it anyway. I don't want to say this is a big deal or anything, but it is an interesting way of wording things because we're only really expecting one or two. I was expecting one, frankly, a piece of DLC for Jurassic World Evolution. We've talked about fairly recently how Evolution and Planet Zoo are kind of like the two things keeping Frontier going at the moment. They've had a lot of misses lately with, you know, your F1 Manager and your Age of Sigmar games. Evolution and Planet Zoo continue to perform really well, so it makes sense they would be supported with DLC. And I just wonder, now that they've changed tact recently, we've been talking about how they're going to reorganize and focus more on those creative management sim games. Is this now part of it? Are they looking at the performance of Planet Zoo? Are they looking at the performance of Jurassic World Evolution and thinking, we need more of this, you know? This is something we should be pushing even more. Maybe we can get more DLC. Maybe we can focus on what people want for that DLC. Maybe we can go for a sequel. Just saying, we're going to do the survey, we'll take a little look and let's see what kind of things they're asking for, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below as well. Where would your answers have differed from mine? I'll explain them as we go through. Let's take a look. So here we go. Welcome Park Zoo and Coaster Managers. It's worth noting this is a management sim survey, so already we are seeing that renewed focus on creative management sims. We at Frontier would love to get to know you better and hear your thoughts and opinions on your experience with creative management sims. As if I didn't just say those words. In order to do that, it should take 7 minutes. Completely anonymous, blah 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 blah, completely an enemy. Looking forward to reading your honest thoughts and feedback. Thank you for your time. You're so welcome. And yeah, sure. I just assume yes. So let's have a look here. And again, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Go fill in the survey. You know, if you want to help guide the future of maybe Evolution DLC, maybe Evolution 3, if you want to shape potential other Jurassic titles, if you want to shape, you know, other Planet titles, it's a good idea. So Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, Evolution 1, Evolution 2. I don't think I've played any of the others. I didn't even know they made Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, frankly. I think I played Elite Dangerous for like 5 minutes. So let's go with those 4. How old are you? Too old? Let's not harp on that one. And please read all instructions carefully. You're not my mother. Okay, how important are the following aspects when playing Frontier management games? Campaign stories, management... Okay, campaign stories. Really not important to me. I know people were a little bit up in arms about Evolution 2's campaign story being so much shorter. Evolution 1's campaign was huge, but kind of terrible. So I didn't find that Evolution 2's was a downgrade, especially when you factored in the Chaos Theory, which I enjoyed. But for me, these games, they kind of start when you're finished with the campaign and you've unlocked everything. You know, it's the sandbox. It's as well as that's it. It's the sandbox mode that always attracts me to these games. So I'm not going to say it's not at all important because I enjoy them and I want good ones, but they're unimportant. Management, important. Not the most important thing, but I would like deeper management, particularly in the Evolution series. Evolution 2 kind of threatened to do so with the scientists and stuff like that, but my perspective on Evolution 2's management is that it's quite wide. It's kind of like, it's wide as an ocean, but as deep as a puddle. It's that kind of thing where there's more to do, there's more sort of busy work in that regard, but it's not really deep management at all. It's quite shallow. You know, pick your scientists, throw them in, and you're kind of done. It's just tedious. Art style. Important. Social sharing. You know, creativity, that's the big one for me. And challenge, again, I don't find is something I particularly care about for these games. Do you use Frontier Steam Workshop? Sometimes. And Evolution 2. So, last 30 days, of course. How important are the following aspects when playing Evolution 2? So this, I think, is probably the most important question in the entire thing. So if you're doing this yourself, make sure you're focusing on this one. If you want to, hopefully, you know, right, okay, I'll explain why as we go through this. So, a lot of this could apply to DLC, of course, but dinosaur variety, right? Important. Campaign objectives. Campaign narratives. For me personally, don't care that much. It doesn't affect my life as much as the other stuff. But this is already the interesting thing, because I've said this for a while, but I don't think we're going to get a big campaign DLC for Jurassic World Evolution 2 anymore. I suspect if we get another bunch of... let's say we get 3 or 4 more packs. Maybe the final one will be a big campaign DLC. I can see that world where they finish, like we did with Evolution 1, with a campaign DLC. But I'm largely expecting DLCs at this point to just be animal packs, and they have been fairly consistently. They used to have a fairly set ratio schedule of campaign pack, dinosaur pack, campaign pack, dinosaur pack. That ended pretty early with Evolution 2, and it's just been dinosaur packs, I think 3 in a row now. So clearly the old theme, the old adage, both are the incorrect word there. Clearly the old system is no longer in place, probably because the team working on Evolution 2 is a lot smaller, but that's why I'm thinking they might finish off with a big campaign DLC, and they'll be sort of working on that in the background, I guess. It's sort of... maybe they can work on that across 6 to 9 months whilst building dinosaur packs. That might be copium. But either way, the point is, we have a new Jurassic film coming next year. Again, that makes Jurassic World Evolution 3 or Jurassic... well, they wouldn't call it that. They could call it... let's say the new film's called Jurassic Blarg Blarg. They could bring out Jurassic Blarg Blarg Origins or something. Or, you know, just something like that. That kind of terrible cliche title. Jurassic Blarg Blarg. Dino Time, right? If Frontier release a game called Jurassic Blarg Blarg Dino Time, I want everyone coming back here and giving me immense credit, okay? For getting that correct. But that's actually, it's funny enough, I talked about this. I think if the next film was a Jurassic World film, I think Jurassic World 3 would be less likely, because I think Jurassic World Evolution as a franchise has maybe run its course a little bit. You know, both games sold really well, but I think if they came out with a third game and didn't have absolutely monumental gameplay improvements, that would probably be it for people. I know that for a fact. I've heard that from so many of you at home, right? Jurassic Blarg Blarg Dino Time lets them kind of reboot a little bit. You can bring over a bunch of stuff from the first games, but you can build something entirely different. It's kind of a clean slate. So I suspect the next game, if it does exist, and as I said, I'm 50-50, it won't be called Evolution 3. It'll be called Blarg Blarg Dino Time. And to me, that makes it more likely to be true. But anyways, building parks, maximum management. It's funny that I don't care about this stuff, but I do wish the management was deeper. And sharing designs, I kind of had this quite low before, but I'm thinking if there was going to be a Jurassic Blarg Blarg Dino Time, the ability to easily share content on it, which we just can't do at all right now, you know, in an official capacity, would just be so appreciated that I think it's quite a big deal. And I kind of want to promote this kind of thing. How many DLCs? I've got all 8. Interesting to note, we have 1 more DLC already for Evolution 2 than we do for Evolution 1. What would be the most important factor to you when choosing Jurassic World Evolution 2 DLC packs? And again, asking questions like this is really interesting, because why would you ask this if you had no intention? Right, why would you ask this if you have no intention of making a sequel, or indeed a DLC that sort of leans into these things? And why would you ask this if you have no intention of making yet more DLC packs? I really think we're going to get more content for this game than we expect. I think it might slow down, and I don't think it'll be big anymore, but I suspect we could get another 3, 4, 5 plus packs potentially. I don't know if that's, again, more copium on my part, but it's true. New gameplay features for me would be the big thing. Cosmetics is great. New dinosaurs is great. New narrative campaign I would love to push. I want all these things, but for me, any way to deepen the gameplay, And I'm gameplay features. I'm including, I guess, things like pterosaurs walking, for example. Which, if the upcoming DLC is an aviary pack, that's like the big thing I really want. But it's that aspect of the free updates that always makes me more excited than the new dinosaurs. New decorations, new gameplay features. Those are the big things for me. How do you first hear about our updates? wait. I am famous. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I first hear about the updates from Frontier. So, Frontier channels, I guess. Yeah, done. Thank you for submitting your response. You're so welcome, survey. Yeah, so that is the survey. This was a terrible video. I don't know, folks. I think that's it. I don't know if the survey itself was interesting, but I think the fact they are looking and talking about future deals, because you've got to think, the next DLC for Evolution 2, let's say they're doing another DLC over the March one, whatever the hell that turns out to be. That next DLC is already in development. Already. Like, they already know what that one is. It's already being worked on. So it would be quite hard to integrate feedback, right? So it does suggest they're looking at both future DLC and maybe something a little bit bigger in the future. You know, they're looking at what do people enjoy in our dinosaur management sims. And I think that's really potentially interesting. And I think we might just start to hear a little bit more. You know, this year's got a long way to go. Maybe Gamescom this year, like a little hint. The Frontier monthly streams aren't really giving us any information. I don't know, I'm just... There's a vibe going on. You know, this new film coming out, this big trend now towards creative management sims. You know, they're really hardcore pushing that. There's some interesting things going on. That's all I'm saying. Let me know what you think down below, and hope you all have a lovely weekend. Thanks for joining me. Cheers, much of as always. Bye-bye. Oh, I'll link their Twitter so you can do a survey for yourselves. See you later.